certainly good to be back out there practicing. We had a really good off-season program. A lot of guys participated. It was a little shorter this year. We moved everything back a week because of playing a little longer, practicing a little longer, based on last season. We've been in this situation before. We like to practice on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday in the spring, and just practice 2 days before the spring game. So we always have one extra practice, kind of a wild card practice, and it's always the question of, do you do it before spring break or do you wait and do it after the spring game? And we've done it both ways, and we feel like with this particular team to get started, especially with the young guys that we have on defense, it's good to expose them, gives them something to take home with them during break. And actually get to spend a little bit more time with them before break, because of the fact that we practiced today. So I think the conditioning of the team is pretty good. I thought the spirit was good, the attitude was good. A lot of guys worked hard, and I was really, pleased with the starting point that we have as a team. Obviously, the most important thing is not where we were today, but how much we improve each and every day. We have an opportunity to practice. You either get better, you get worse. Each day you go out there. I think the things that we want to accomplish, in the spring are, first of all, teaching players, developing players in terms of what to do, how to do it, why it's important to do it that way. And I think that that's probably the number one thing, and see how many players that we can come out of the spring with that we feel that could play winning football at their particular position, do their job well, execute their job with the kind of physical toughness and effort that we need on every unit. The second thing would be to develop a team identity. That's the challenge for this particular team. It doesn't have anything to do with what was done in the past, but everything is looking forward to the identity that we want to create, for this particular team. The other thing would be is, spring is a time where, we're going to fiddle around with the roster a little bit in terms of depth chart means nothing in the spring. Mostly it's for organizational purposes. When we do two-spot drills, we got 1s and 3s on one field, 2s and 4s on the other field, and we put guys on teams relative to where they're going to get the most reps. So it really don't read a lot into who's playing with what team and all that type of thing. We got to make sure we got a nickel backer on every field, a star on every field. So we might have a guy that's a 1, that's practicing with the 3s because he's going to be the star with the first group. It doesn't mean he's third team. It just means for organizational purposes, we have a chance to have a more efficient practice. But we will do, the other goal is to try to get the best players out there on the field. So if we feel that, we have somebody that could help our team in another position, we want to get the best 22 guys out there on offense and defense and the best 22 guys backing them up, and which guys are going to have roles and significant roles on special teams. And there's a lot of opportunity on our team this year. We lost a lot of good football players, so we need to do a good job of identifying players and what they can do to help our team. And that's really what we'd like to sort of accomplish this spring. A couple of things on the roster. Terry Grant had a 5th year. He's been injured 2 years in a row. He decided because of injuries that he's already graduated, that he would not come back for his 5th year. He does qualify for a medical if we need to do that so that he can continue academically, but he has graduated and he's not coming back. Travis Sykes also has a 5th year. He has already graduated as well, and he's not going to come back for his 5th year. Robbie Green was excused today for personal reasons, which I'm not going to really get into. He will be back on Monday when we come back to practice, and he will be able to practice. Kendall Kelly, we're experimenting with at defensive back. Brandon Gibson, even though he's still playing receivers, we're kind of playing him both ways out there. He's doing a little bit of defensive back. Justin Fowler, who is a running back, but we look at him at linebacker a little bit. Billingsley, who was a defensive lineman before, we moved him to tight end. We're trying to back a defensive lineman again. So, those are some of the roster changes that we're experimenting with right now. We may make other experimentations in the future, and as we evaluate guys on a day-to-day basis and watch practice film and see certain guys that are doing a good job, that may indicate that it could be an opportunity for somebody else at another position, and when that time comes, we'll sort of address those on a day-to-day basis. The injured players, Dante did a little bit of stuff in practice today. He should be okay when we come back on Monday. He has a strained calf, which he got in the off-season program. It's not really that bad, but those things don't usually get better unless you get some time off. It's not a problem with his knee. His knee didn't bother him at all in the off-season program. Michael Bowman has a abdominal pull. He didn't do much in practice today. Vallejos had foot surgery, so he'll probably be out the entire spring. Earl Alexander developed a stress fracture, so he's going to be limited for a while. He's been limited for a little while in the off-season program. He did some stuff, some individual drills today, but he may be a little bit limited as we go down the road here. Questions?
Coach, I'm just interested in looking back in your years of coaching. Have you been able to get any sense on how the team is going to shape up based on how they've responded the first day? And if that is the case, how are you feeling?
Well, you can't make any predictions based on the first day. I mean, the first day is a starting point. But I've been very pleased with everything that this team has done in terms of the attitude and the work ethic in the off-season program, in the fourth quarter program, in the strength and conditioning program. I think we made progress with a lot of guys. And I think that the spirit and attitude was very good in practice today. But, we have a lot of teaching to do and a lot of young players who we need to develop some knowledge and experience with and see if we can get more players to be able to play winning football.
Coach, obviously a lot of changes with the defensive backs this season. Can you talk about Mark Barron and if he's going to have to step up as a leader now that he's one of the older guys back there?
Well, Mark has been a pretty good leader for us. I think he leads by example. He makes a lot of plays. He made plays today in practice, and he does have experience. I think he's a lot more confident, and I think his leadership will be something that will be very important to that group, and he's done a good job of that so far.
Is the plan still with Hightower, no contact for all of spring?
Well, I didn't know. I didn't say that, so then that's not the plan. He'll practice. I think we'll make a determination as to how much we scrimmage him, but he'll practice every day like everybody else practices. I just think that, I'm sure by the time we get to the first scrimmage, if it was a game, he could play in it, which I think he could play in a game right now. All right, but whether we want to, take a chance with him when the scrimmage comes, or maybe we do it on a limited basis, I think that'll be made with the medical staff when we get to that point. But he's been clear to do everything medically. It's just, what will we do when it comes to the scrimmages? That's the only question we have with Dante right now.
Coach, Rolando McClain mentioned on Wednesday that he's been dealing with Crohn's disease for a number of years since high school. Can you just comment on the challenge that your medical staff dealt with and helping him manage that the last 3 years?
Well, I think our medical staff did a great job, but I think Roe did a great job too, and that's something that never really affected him as a player. Never affected him in practice. Never affected him as a player. Because I think our medical staff did a really good job with him, but I think Roe had a lot of discipline and understanding how to manage that himself and did a really good job of it. And it was never an issue or problem, and I don't think it'll be an issue and a problem relative to his future.
You made a comment when Robbie Green was suspended that he was going to go through the due process. That's been there through that already, and he's cleared, and he'll be back.
No, we have not been through that, but he's cleared to practice. He's allowed to practice, and we'll let you know when we get any more information on what the situation is. I don't have any new information on it right now.